So imagine you look up, and instead of sky, you see land, rivers, farms, a whole city hanging right over your head. You're not standing on a planet, you're standing inside one, a giant cylinder spinning in the dark of space, built to hold a few million people. And it turns out that living in a place like this would quietly break almost every rule your body has ever taken for granted. So start with the ground under your feet. There's no planet here, no giant ball of rock pulling you down. So where does the gravity come from? The spin. The whole cylinder turns, roughly once every 2 minutes. And that rotation flings everything inside it outward, against the inner wall. And that constant push outward, to your body, it feels exactly like gravity. So down, in here, isn't toward some core deep below you. Down is outward. You're being held against the inside of a spinning drum. And your inner ear cannot tell the difference. Now, this is not something a movie made up. A real physicist, Gerard O'Neill at Princeton, worked it out in the 1970s with his students on paper, using the physics we already had. And the scale is hard to hold in your head. Each cylinder is about 20 miles long and 4 miles across. They don't even come one at a time. They come in pairs, spinning in opposite directions. Why two? Because a single spinning cylinder behaves like a giant gyroscope. It fights you every time you try to turn it to face the sun. Spin a second one the other way, and that stubbornness cancels out. So the pair can always keep its windows pointed at the light. So step outside and look around. On Earth, the ground falls away from you. It curves down and vanishes at the horizon, right? In here, it does the opposite. The ground curves up. Follow any field far enough and it rises, until it's a hillside, then a wall, then a ceiling. There's no horizon anywhere. And when you look straight up, you're looking at the far side of your own world. Two more valleys, running the entire length of the cylinder, hanging above you with their own towns, their own rivers, their own roads, and between them, 3 long windows, miles of glass, pouring in the sunlight from the side. Now, a space this enormous has its own weather. The air inside is deep enough to form clouds, real ones, a mile or two over your head. It can rain in here. And the day itself? The day is a decision. Giant mirrors outside tilt sunlight in through those windows. Angle them one way, and the sun rises. Angle them back, and night falls, on a schedule that somebody chose. So there's no true dawn in this world. There's only the moment the engineers decided to let the light back in. So now your body starts to notice something. That gravity from the spin? It isn't the same everywhere. It's strongest at the ground. And it fades the higher you climb. Go halfway up, and you weigh half as much. Climb a tall enough tower and you could jump and just hang there. And right at the axis, the dead centers, gravity drops to zero. And in that weightless core, people fly, not sealed in a spacecraft, out in the open air, on sleek personal flyers. Kids grow up banking through the axis, racing each other across the open sky. The kind of flight we've always dreamed of. In here, it's just something you do on a Saturday. And it isn't only up and down that turns strange, because the whole world is rotating, throwing a ball, or pouring a glass of water, doesn't quite go straight. Everything drifts, just slightly, to the side. It's a pull your inner ear can feel but your eyes can't see. Climb a ladder too quickly and you go faintly dizzy, tugged sideways by a world turning underneath you. On Earth, this exact same effect is what steers hurricanes. In here, it's gentle enough to live with, but always there. Deep down, some part of you would never quite forget that the ground you're standing on is moving. So why don't we already have one of these? It comes down to 2 problems, and neither one is small. The first is what's outside. Out in deep space, there's no magnetic field like Earth's to shield you. Just a steady sleet of cosmic radiation that, over years, would slowly break the human body down. To stop it, you'd have to wrap the entire cylinder in armor. Millions of tons of rock and rubble, mined off the moon or the asteroids, packed around the outside. The second problem is simply holding it together. 20 miles of hull, spun fast enough to fake gravity, with an entire ocean of air pressing outward on every square inch. But notice what's not on that list. Nothing here breaks the laws of physics. It's all engineering. It's just engineering at a scale we have never once attempted. So that's the strange truth about the O'Neill cylinder. Unlike so many far future dreams, there's no miracle missing from this one. We could begin building it this century. No new physics required. Only the will and the material. And if we ever did, an entire generation would grow up inside it. Kids who look up and see farmland in the sky, who learn to fly before they learn to drive, who feel that faint sideways tug of a spinning world and think nothing of it, because to them, that's simply what home feels like. We spent all of human history imagining what it would be like to leave the Earth. This is what it might feel like to build a new one, from scratch, and set it spinning in the dark.